I have seen a lot of different things from different students between my residency year up until my current teaching year. And a lot of it has honestly broken my heart. I've talked to students who come through, group homes, going in and out of the foster care system, some students who lost a parent. I had a student who lost her house last year in a fire. I had students with parents who don't speak English and need a translator, so luckily, me knowing Spanish, that kind of helps out a little bit with that type of connection. But there are just some stories that as an adult, you just don't ever think about experiencing as an adult. So to take these experiences and hear them from children, it just breaks my heart. I mean, there's just no other way to talk about it. It breaks my heart. And because it breaks my heart so much, it kind of shows me that I'm someone who needs to show care outside of care in the classroom, if that makes sense. And that's just something that, as an educator, I have to continuously look for because we're in a school with high needs. We can't just be looking for the academic needs. We can't just be looking for the behavioral needs. We need to look for, the emotional needs, the physical needs. Some of these students only eat once a day. And that's just something that as an educator in a high needs school that's just something we need to look for. Teacher representation, I believe, has always been an issue in the education field. There is the idea that marginalized groups of people don't have as many successes nor opportunities to become something other than what they are used to now. And I think if we have a huger teacher representation in an area, especially in an area that they come to, 5 times out the day, if they consistently see somebody that they can relate to being successful, or at least successful in their eyes, I would hope that would persuade them or influence them to try to become successful in their own lives. And that's something that I really, really try to push in my class, that at one point I was just like these students. I was in an area that was high needs, my parents weren't available all the time, and then I was the oldest child of 4 kids, so my attention and my needs as an oldest brother just wasn't there because I had responsibilities I had to take care of. And I understand that in my students. And I think because I understand that and I'm a representation of what they may go through to some extent, I think that speaks so much louder than a teacher who may or may not have had similar experiences with their students. Equity is important because it allows every student to have the opportunity to have the same instance of learning. And what I mean is, equity goes so much further beyond just being able to have everyone participate in class. Equity can be something as simple as making sure that everybody has a level of respect for different cultures. That, even though there are people in here who aren't like you, that does not give you the reason to treat them any different than how you would want to be treated. And sometimes I use what I call my equity sticks to kind of just randomly pick somebody to kind of talk about either things they have issues with or questions they may have about the math or questions they may have about life. I think equity is just surrounded by this idea that everyone has the opportunity to be who they are and who they want to be, and having the safe haven to do so. The reason why I felt so compelled joining a program like Project Inspire was because it was so focused in high needs schools. The school that I came from in California, Rialto High School, they were a really high Latin and Hispanic population. And there were certain things population-wise that we just needed. We needed more teachers who were able to, take care of a greater group of students. We had about maybe 30 to 45 kids in a class my sophomore year in high school, which was absolutely unheard of. And when I heard of Project Inspire, it was just kind of like, we want you guys to be the force in the education field for the students who need it the most. And that was just something that spoke so loudly and so vibrantly in my head, in my ears, that it was kind of like that moment where you see a choir of angels like singing down with the light from heavens, the la. And it was just something that kind of called out to me versus me kind of going to it.